Now, I don't really care, Alex. I don't support censorship in any faction, but it's the double standard. So I put up a video last night criticizing this video, the message behind it, because the Washington Post, Inside Edition, The View, they all put their videos on YouTube fawning over it and praising it. Basically, it trashes America. It's, you know, the usual Black Lives Matter rhetoric. America's racist, evil, and corrupt. It allows Donald Glover, the creator of this video, to become an international actor, a music star, and be on all the top TV shows every night for the past 2 weeks because America's so evil and racist. So I basically made some points rebutting.
And he's going to be Lando Calrissian in the new movie. It's just so horrible.
Yeah, so horrible. Yeah, he's literally like the most adored, famous person on earth, but America's racist and hates black people, apparently. So I made a video about it, criticizing the message behind it. Within hours, it was put behind what they call the gulag.
Paul Joseph Watson joins us to break down the admitted total crackdown on libertarian, conservative, Christian, nationalist speech all over the world being led by big tech. Congressional hearings months ago calling for Watson to be banned from Twitter because he dares say that the Muslim attacker with the truck in New York was a Muslim. That was, of course, true. So his crime is saying the sky is blue at high noon and that the woods are lovely, dark, and deep. But the truth will out. Now, there's a #1 music video out there, and Paul Watson devastates it, coming up when we air this in the next segment, but I wanted him to specifically speak to this. The article's up on Infowars.com. We have re-uploaded it from Facebook, so you can see the censored video for limited time. We'll probably take that down. YouTube allows video description of massacre to be watched by children, but when we criticize it, they censor the video, criticizing it that censors the violence. So this is exposing them targeting children with this race-baiting, race war, violent garbage and blocking it from most audiences, but not blocking the actual violence and race baiting. So total hypocrisy, total fraud, and then it dovetails in with everything else. Paul, thanks for joining us. Give us a update on this.
Well, the update is literally 5 minutes ago they restored it, which always happens, right? We always make a big deal out of it. Point to the fact that this is the Streisand effect. They still seem completely unaware of what the Streisand effect is. Then it ends up getting hundreds of thousands of more views anyway. So it always fails, but they keep doing it. And we've got a platform to kind of push back. Most people don't. Most people just accept it. The video is basically the US Billboard #1 hit song right now. It depicts in bloody gore and violence somebody being shot in the head, a group of gospel singers being massacred with an AK-47. YouTube didn't age restrict it. No. They promoted it on their trending page for the past 10 days. There's no age restriction. Children can watch this, and it's advertiser friendly. Now, I don't really care, Alex. I don't support censorship in any faction, but it's the double standard. So I put up a video last night criticizing this video, the message behind it. Because the Washington Post, Inside Edition, The View, they all put their videos on YouTube fawning over it and praising it. Basically, it trashes America. It's, you know, the usual Black Lives Matter rhetoric. America's racist, evil, and corrupt. It allows Donald Glover, the creator of this video, to become an international actor, a music star, and be on all the top TV shows every night for the past 2 weeks because America's so evil and racist. So I basically made some points rebutting.
And he's going to be Lando Calrissian in the new movie. It's just so horrible.
Yeah, so horrible. Yeah, he's literally like the most adored, famous person on earth, but America's racist and hates black people, apparently. So I made a video about it, criticizing the message behind it. Within hours, it was put behind what they call the gulag, which is when a video starts to go viral, they immediately shut it down, prevent comments, prevent likes, prevent it from being shared. You have to be signed into a YouTube account to watch it. Basically kills any traction the video has. So understand the fact that the Washington Post and all these other outlets had their videos on YouTube for days, praising the original video, that's fine. As soon as I criticize it with my opinion, and don't even show the violence which is in the original. I literally censored the violence which is not censored in the original, which is available for children to watch and is advertiser friendly. So within about 12 hours, it got nearly 200,000 views. It was shut down. It was censored. Now, obviously, we've got some kind of resources to draw attention to this and to freak out about it. So it's just been restored as of about 10 minutes ago. But again, it goes back to the point. There's this narrative, Alex. Oh, the conservative snowflakes are complaining about being censored again. What are you talking about? You're never censored. Literally within hours of me making this video, boom, censored. So, yes, we are being censored.
And, Paul, let's expand on that. They then argue, hey, it's their own corporation, blah, blah, blah. The left will sue you if you don't bake their cake. They advertise it as YouTube. We follow the rules. They break the rules. They're allowed to make fun of dead bodies and stuff and not get in trouble. We just expose what they're doing, and they try to deny us from the electronic town square. When we come back, though, we're going to play the censored video that's now been put back up for now, which they killed when it started going mega viral. It's up on Infowars.com. We're going to retweet it right now at Real Alex Jones and at Prison Planet. Paul's Twitter. Paul, please tweet that it's been restored. See it while it's still available. And then we're going to talk about the next level. Facebook is announcing the end of Infowars May 24th.
Yeah, the other point is this video is based on the premise that the entertainment industry and the media distracts people from real issues. What they call real issues are identity politics, racism, Black Lives Matter rhetoric, which of course is all the entertainment industry media talks about. Every award show, NFL, late night comedy monologues, that's all they talk about. So they're not distracting from it, they're promoting it. So, I mean, I drew attention to this. You know, the guy behind this video is on every major TV talk show, has been for the past 2 weeks. So the video itself distracts from real issues. I brought up real issues in the actual video. Like, if you really care about black lives, shouldn't the fact that 90% of black people are killed by other black people
clearly, Paul,
that conversation?
They can't deal with the real debate. They're force-feeding this narrative with hundreds of movies, TV shows, trying to cause a race war. It's in the WikiLeaks. We'll be back in a moment after the censored video. Here it is.
And this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe.
This is America.
Why am I analysing This Is America by Childish Gambino? Because millions upon millions of people have blithely swallowed the social justice narrative that it promotes. They're calling it
overnight cultural phenomenon.
This video is basically the antidote to everything Kanye has been saying for the past few weeks. Now, first off, I'm not questioning the talents of either Donald Glover or the choreography for this video, which are both obviously substantial. I am questioning the phony, race-baiting, divisive narrative that the video seeks to elevate. So Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, is essentially playing the role of America. White America, to be more precise. Glover massacring the gospel singers is a reference to the racist murder of black churchgoers in Charleston. The guy shot at the beginning of the video also looks like Trayvon Martin's dad, cementing the Black Lives Matter theme that racist white America is hunting down African Americans. Strangely absent from the 4-minute video is any reference whatsoever to the #1 killer of black people in America, which is other black people. A fact you'd think would be part of the conversation if Glover really cared about black lives. Also absent is the fact that black people kill more white people than vice versa, despite the fact that white people make up a far larger percentage of the population.
According to the National Crime Victimization Survey, in 2010, 62,593 blacks were the victims of white violence. During that same year, 320,082 whites were the victims of black violence. That's 5 times as many violent attacks, but that number is misleading, since the black and white populations are not the same size. When 38 million black Americans commit 5 times as many violent crimes on 197 million whites as they receive, what you discover is that black perpetrators violently assault white victims 25 times more frequently. And when it comes to a specific kind of violent crime, aggravated assault, the number of black on white crimes is 200 times higher than white on black crimes.
Running through the lyrics and the entire video is the theme of Glover and the dancers serving as a distraction from the chaos going on behind them, which is supposed to be an allegory of how entertainment distracts from social justice, racism, and identity politics.
The song's first bridge
talks about how entertainment media is serving as a distraction from bigger issues at hand.
What are you talking about? The entertainment industry is now wall-to-wall social justice, racism, and identity politics. You can't get through a late-night comedy monologue, an NFL national anthem, or an awards show speech without being bombarded with social justice, racism, and identity politics. This very video has handed the entertainment industry and the media yet another opportunity to endlessly talk about social justice, racism, and identity politics. Mainstream America doesn't distract from discussions about racism and social justice. It amplifies them at every available opportunity. One of the dance moves Glover performs is the South African Gwara Gwara, to draw a parallel between the racist oppression of black people in South Africa and racism in America, which is pretty ironic given that racist oppression currently taking place in South Africa is overwhelmingly directed towards white people.
The South African Parliament has voted in favour of new legislation that could see land from white farmers seized.
He has said that he's not calling for the slaughter of white people, at least not yet. In recent years, there has been a spike in the killing of farmers in South Africa.
The guns being attentively taken care of with a red cloth represents how Republicans care more about guns than lives. Another irony, given that defensive gun uses by victims are more common than gun uses by violent criminals, according to the CDC's own figures. Firearms violence has also been plummeting for the last 20 years, even as gun ownership soared.
Gambino says,
This is Sally. That's a tool.
Selly could mean cell block, a commonly used tool to unjustly keep blacks in a cycle of incarceration.
Yeah. 50% homicide rate, 13% population rate. Glover also poses and pulls facial expressions like a caricature of Jim Crow. Jim Crow laws were racial segregation laws enacted by Democrats. But as Candace Owens points out, virtually no one complaining about Jim Crow laws today even lived through the Jim Crow era.
Victim mentality is not cool. I don't know why people like being oppressed. It's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. I love oppression. We're oppressed. 400 years of slavery, Jim Crow, which, by the way, none of you guys lived through. Your grandparents didn't. It's embarrassing that you utilize their history. You're not living through anything right now. You're overly privileged Americans.
Racism and slavery was a horrific chapter of American history, just as it was in every other part of the world where slavery was inflicted on virtually every race on the planet. Why are we still obsessively talking about this hundreds of years later? Could it be because Democrats don't actually care about black lives?
It has been a record year in the city of Chicago, and for all the wrong reasons. The murder rate has never been higher.
And the only thing they actually care about is keeping black people locked in a permanent state of mental victimhood so they can get black votes. Glover trying to escape and run from America, which is represented at the end of the video, encapsulates the overarching nihilistic message that America is corrupt, evil, and racist. So corrupt, evil, and racist that it allows Glover, a black man, to reach the top of his game in both acting and the music industry, while having one of the most celebrated and talked about songs of the year, while appearing on every mainstream talk show on TV, while making tens of millions of dollars in the process. So racist. America is so corrupt and evil. It defeated the twin terrors of fascism and communism, became the biggest economic powerhouse on the planet, created a strong aspirational middle class, including a generation of upwardly mobile black families, improving the lives of hundreds of millions of Americans of all colours, and providing endless opportunities for tens of millions of immigrants thereafter. So racist. But none of that really matters. This music video has had over 120 million views in 10 days. Videos that emphasize its social justice narrative have tens of millions more views. This is a potent piece of cultural and political propaganda delivered via the medium of pop culture. And me sitting here debunking its delusory sophistic themes isn't going to reach 120 million people. We need to create our own art. We need to create our own music. We need to create our own cultural narrative. Young people don't identify with social justice narratives because of their objective truth. They didn't reason themselves into believing Black Lives Matter rhetoric. They believe it because it's socially acceptable and it inflates their inherent narcissism. They identify with it because it's cool to do so. Videos like this make it cool to do so. We need to make this uncool. We need to make social justice the most embarrassing thing in the world. We need to create an environment where artists can express true diversity of opinion without committing career suicide. We need to incentivize a return to beauty, a return to authenticity, a reassertion of confidence in Western civilization. This isn't America. Spike Lee's new America-bashing movie isn't America. This kind of thing exists to tear down and denigrate the very idea of America. We shouldn't allow this to define what America stands for. We need to define what America stands for. We need to make America cool again.
You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
He goes to jail. He goes to jail. Lock him up.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Survival Shield X2 Nascent Iodine. If you're interested in healthy thyroid, if you're interested in well-being, if you're interested in having a higher IQ, which this has been linked to, get your powerful Survival Shield X2 at InfoWarsStore.com.